Hello everyone, it's April Garwood from Banana Moon Studio. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make some very cute lollipop crochet earrings. So I actually haven't put any together fully yet, but you can see the little pieces that they're made of. And then I have a tiny piece of stick here that's going to be glued into the center. And then we'll be attaching an earring hook at the top when we're finished. So the first thing is to show you how to make these little circles. So let's start with, this is a size 6 steel crochet hook. And I have size 10 cotton crochet thread in pink and white. For this first part, you're also going to want 2 locking stitch markers. I'm using these 2. Okay, for that magic ring, again, we want to start with our end coming off the front of our fingers here, wrap around, and then pinch and pull that off your fingers, and then you'll want to make your circle a little bit smaller. So then your hook is going to go through that loop, and we'll yarn over and pull that through the ring and chain 1. And now we're ready to begin. We're going to work over both the tail and the ring, and we're going to make 3 single crochet stitches. Now, when you looked at this, you may see that our colors are spiraling around each other. We don't have the traditional rounds that we normally do when we work in circles, so I'm going to be showing you how to make that spiral. So we've done the 3 single crochet in pink. I'm going to take my hook out, and I'm going to use this stitch marker and put it through my loop just so it can't come unraveled while I'm working with the white. And then I'm going to take my white thread at the end of it, and I'm going to make a slip knot. All right, and then also working over both the tail and the ring, but not this thread, going back to my spool. I'm going to put my hook through and single crochet in the ring 3 times. And then I'm going to take the end from my magic ring and pull it tight to close the center of my work. Now that is the end of my first round. I know it doesn't really look like our typical round because we're not going to be joining the 2 different colors together at the end of the round. To start round 2, we're going to find our first pink stitch. So here's the last one I did, and the second one, and the first one. So I want to go in that very first stitch, and I want to work 2 single crochet stitches in white. And then I want to use this stitch marker, and I like this like a bulb safety pin better for this because I actually want to go through the top of this little stitch to mark it as, actually not this one, I want to go through this one to mark it as the first stitch in this round. I'm just going to leave mine open so it's easier to take in and out. You can close it if you want to. Just if you leave it open, be careful not to prick yourself with it. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And I know this is really tiny. You might watch it on a computer screen rather than a phone screen. It'll be bigger and easier to see. And then in this stitch, again, 2 single crochet stitches. So I am halfway through round 2, but I need to switch colors. So I'm going to make this loop a little long, take my hook out of it, move this stitch marker here to keep the white from coming unraveled while I work with the pink. And I want to take this end to the back and put my hook through the pink loop. And I want to pick up my pink thread that's going back to my spool. Okay, and white end to the back. Now, in the first of my white stitches, I'm going to make 2 single crochet stitches. And 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And 2 single crochet in the next stitch. Now I'm back to where I marked the first stitch of the round, so I have finished round 2. I'm going to go ahead and take my beginning of round marker out for a minute. And for round 3, we're going to place 1 single crochet in this stitch and put our beginning of round marker back in place. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to make my increase. So 2 single crochet stitches here. One single crochet here. 2 here. And again, 1 single crochet here and 2 here. Okay, and again, we're halfway through the round, but we need to switch colors. Put our pink end, or pink thread to the back, and put our hook back in our white loop. And like me, you're probably going to need to untangle things a little bit. Our colors get wrapped around each other here. Okay, but we're still working in the same stitch pattern that we just were, because we're still doing round 3. So in the next pink stitch, I'm going to do 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochet in the next one. One single crochet in the next, 2 single crochet in the next, and we'll repeat that again. So 1 single crochet here, 2 single crochet in the next one. That brings us to the end of round 3. So I'll take my beginning of round marker out. I'm going to continue with the white. In this round, we'll do single crochet, 2 single crochet. So in this first stitch, it'll just be 1 single crochet, and I'll put my beginning of round marker back in place, and another single crochet here in the next stitch. Then in the next stitch, 2 single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, 1 single crochet. In the next stitch, 2 single crochet. So that's our pattern all the way around, is 1 single, 2 singles. If you would like to have the written pattern for this project, which has all the details about materials and measurements and stitches and all of that, you'll find the link for that in the description for this video. I'm going to switch colors now, so I'll move this locking stitch marker into the white loop, put my hook into the pink loop, untangle things. Okay. Now we'll continue the same series of stitches. So it's one single crochet here, one single crochet in the next stitch, two single crochets in the next stitch. And again, we'll do one single crochet in the next stitch, one single crochet in the next stitch, and two single crochets in the next stitch. And we'll repeat that series one more time. That finishes our fourth round. So just to finish up, I'm going to take out my beginning of round marker, and I am going to slip stitch in the very next stitch. And then I am going to cut the pink thread. You don't need to make your ends very long here. Cut the pink thread and fasten it off. And then for the white thread, we're going to go back to that and slip stitch in the next stitch and fasten that off. Okay, so that finishes the crocheting. Now, we are going to be gluing two of these pieces together, which is going to hold all of our ends. So we don't need to do a lot in the way of weaving in ends here. I'm going to cut these two center strings just inside the edge of the circle so that when I glue them together, those ends will be hidden inside. Now, on any other project, I would never recommend cutting ends this short, but it works for this one. Then I'm going to take a pretty small tapestry needle and weave in the two outside ends just a little bit to make sure that they are held in place where I want them. I'm going to go through the top of this next stitch here to pull that into the back. And then I want to run this needle under just a few loops along the back, just to hold the end down. And then I'm going to cut it off short enough that it can be hidden inside the circles. And I'm going to do the same thing with the second end. Okay, so that is how you make the little round pieces for your lollipop earrings. So the next step is going to be putting these together. Now you're going to need like a lollipop stick. The package I got of these called them treat sticks, but it's like a paper stick. I used some heavy kitchen shears to cut the two ends off to make these little 1-inch pieces. The end that I cut doesn't look especially pretty. That's going to go inside the earring where no one will see it, so I recommend you cut off the two ends so that each of your sticks has a nice neat end on it for showing. And now we're going to need some craft glue. Any kind of fabric or craft glue that you have is fine for this. It doesn't need to be some specific brand. But you're going to have these two sets, and what we want to do is put one of them, I kind of want to like stretch them out as much as I can with my fingers. Make sure they look as round as possible. I'm going to put one face down and make sure all of my ends are inside the edge of the circle. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this glue on there. I just want to cover the whole back of it with glue. And then you're going to set the cut end of your treat stick so it's even with the center. And then with your second lollipop round, go ahead and kind of stretch it out and make it round. And then I'm going to go ahead and cover the back of this one with glue. And then you're going to glue them on top of one another. Like so. And then if it's not staying down very well, you may want to set something like a heavy book on top of it to help make sure it stays flat while it dries. And then you're going to repeat that for the second set. Okay, so I've put our two lollipops together, and they look like this. Now, once those are dry, and you will want to wait until they're dry for this next step, but I can go ahead and show it to you with this one. You're going to take 2 French earring hooks, and you'll be attaching one to each of those, but I'll just show you with one of them. You can see if you look closely that the end of this loop is right here. So I'm going to hold the earring hook in my left hand, and then with pliers in my right hand, I'm going to pull this ring open just a little bit. And then if this is the front of my earring, which the earrings we're making are two-sided, so it won't matter, but if this is the front of my earring, of course I want the loop, or I want the earring hook to be to the back. So I'm going to take this little ring and put it through some of one of the stitches at the very top of the circle. And then I'm going to use my pliers again to close the ring. Okay, got that pretty well closed. And then that way my lollipop can hang from the earring. So when these are completely dry, then you'll attach earring hooks to them in that same way. Again, you'll be able to find the written pattern for these crochet earrings at the link in the description for this video. I hope you have enjoyed this project and that you have a lovely day. Bye.